Hello, humans. I am Scott Cannon coming to you live on WLTH 1370 AM from the greatest city in all the world. Gary, Indiana. And this is the Counterpoint. Hey, ladies! The month of March is Women's History Month. So in celebration of all the mothers, sisters, aunties, nieces, and daughters out there, I've decided to take a look at some of the great women out there who've made the world that we live in a better place. Well, folks, just last week we ended Black History Month. And as I like to do every year, at the end of my final February segment, I declared that Black history is not just the things that happened long ago, because history is being made every single day. And what would you know? History is being made as I speak. And fittingly, it's happening during the month that celebrates strong women who fight for justice. As Democrat Ilhan Omar, the very first Black Muslim woman immigrant elected to Congress, is fighting for her very young political life at this very moment. Her crime? Daring to question the relationship that our government has with the Israeli lobbyists, and for that, she has been dragged through the mud with condemnations by the Republican and Democratic parties, labeled anti-Semitic, a terrorist, and has even had people calling for her assassination. So how did we get to this point? Well, Omar, a mother of three, representing the great state of Minnesota, fled war-torn Somalia during the Somali Civil War in 1991, then spent 4 years in a refugee camp in Kenya before moving to the United States in 1995 and becoming a citizen in the year 2000. Omar worked hard, graduating with bachelor's degrees in political science and international studies before becoming an educator at the University of Minnesota. She entered the political field as a part of the City Councilman Andrew Johnson's campaign team and served as his senior policy aide. During one particular volatile caucus, Omar was physically attacked by 4 people, sustaining injuries in 2014, continuing a long theme in her life of being persecuted for her beliefs. But in spite of harassment and threats, Omar persevered, first running for and winning a seat in the Minnesota House of Representatives in 2016, before finally running for Congress in the 2018 midterm elections and making history by actually getting elected. Taking office alongside other history makers like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib, Omar, like those women, has never shied away from speaking her mind about issues that matter to her, whether it's her condemnation of the Trump administration's attempted coup in Venezuela or her support for the LGBTQ community, even though she is a very devout Muslim. Which brings us back to our initial issue. Though Omar is always outspoken, one issue seems to be threatening to end her political career in Congress before it even starts, really. Israel. You already know what it is. Just today, House Democrats seem to be split in half over a resolution condemning religious bigotry, which is indirectly but directly aimed at Omar, because she has consistently called out the nation of Israel for its mistreatment and occupation of the Palestinian people and land. Thank God many in the party, like the Congressional Black Caucus, see just how ridiculous it is to sanction and condemn Omar while we have a president who has purposely used white supremacist tropes just to get elected. As for Omar, she seems to be standing strong and defiant in the face of a historic level of hate and anger being thrown in her direction. Just a few weeks ago, a Coast Guard lieutenant was arrested for plotting to assassinate the Congresswoman, meaning that the stakes are much higher than the typical political posturing that we're used to in Washington, D.C. Now, in this segment over the years, I've covered brave women and courageous women like Shirley Chisholm, Lucy Parsons, and Marielle Franco, whose legacies loom large in death. But it's important to understand that there are women right here, right now, who are fighting against immense systems of racism and sexism and religious bigotry to try to make the world that we live in today a much better place. And it's not enough to just applaud them, but we have to support them while we still can. So it is imperative that you and myself call your congressman or congresswoman, or write your congressman or your congresswoman to support Ilhan Omar. And you can also sign a petition to support Ilhan Omar at change.org. Make sure you support this brave, courageous woman who is fighting for the rights of not only the poor, but for all marginalized communities in this country. And with that, you can always chop it up with me on Twitter. Let me know what you're thinking. At The Chemist Lives, The Chemist is spelled with a K, as I'm a product of the Gary Community School System. I am proud of that. To talk about politics, music, sports, or you can tell me just how terrible I am at my job. Or you can listen to me every Monday from 6 to 8 on Issues and Answers with Jonathan Booz. I am Scott Cannon, now with the Counterpoint on WLTH 1370 AM. And for everybody in the Chicagoland area, 92.7. God bless the working class. God bless labor. And I'm out, humans.